So many book editors or manuscript editors, especially those who are starting out, make these three mistakes that I thought to let you know. Number one, if you always think of book editing or manuscript editing in the guise of just correcting error holistically, without thinking that or without acknowledging that there are levels of editing. So there is editing at the developmental or content level, there's editing at the copy editing level, and there is proofreading. Now, these are just three broad areas. Trust me, there are many other places. But before I dig in, my name is Sibe, and this is my channel. I've been 16 years plus professionally doing this as an editor, proofreader, ghostwriter, and publisher. I'm the CEO of Logos Audibles Africa, and I'm super excited to guide anyone starting out as an editor or ghostwriter who wants to make sustainable business out of their skill. Because I know it's easy to fall into the trap of, oh, I am talented and then remain broke. And I don't want that for you, okay? So let's dig into the main topic. Three major mistakes I see that editors who are just starting out make is that they just take people's manuscript and they try to read it and correct any error that they can spot without considering that there are levels of editing. A work might lack major developmental constitutes that you need to look at using a checklist of things, and that is developmental editing. When you're looking at editing at how the content is looking, how the maybe characters, whether they are well developed, whether they are the cultural accuracy of the fiction is properly aligned. Like when somebody mentioned one day, I wrote something about it on Facebook one day, somebody writing a fiction and mentioned how he trekked to school in a winter morning in Lagos State. Think about it. Is there winter in Lagos, in Nigeria? So these are some of the things that you have to look out for. There are so much more on developmental editing. If you don't think about it, you might end up thinking every error is an error. It's just there. Okay. Now, there's also editing at the line and copy editing levels. I like to put this together because you can do both. In the copy editing level, you're also supposed to look out for things like, the pacing of the work, the grammar, the sentence structure, paragraphing, all of those good stuff, right? And also account for other inconsistencies that maybe in the characterization or the plot or the story or something about the tone, all of that, to make sure that everything just aligns and represents what a reader will find interesting. Because at the end of the day, your role as the editor partly is to make sure that you say what the author wants to say in a way that the reader will receive it and it will make impact. Now, there's proofreading. Trust me, proofreading is part of editing, right? I know some people brand themselves as just proofreaders as well. So this is another level of editing. And that is so important to know. I remember when I started out, why I know that you have this problem, probably is that I used to make this mistake back in the day when I used to think that I was just passionate, I used to think that I didn't know this could be professionally done. I didn't know this could be business. So I just used to look at it in the errors I could identify. So if it was proofreading, spelling errors, I fix that and I move on, right? Even though I can tell when the character is not well developed, the plot is 2 or 3, is not so detailed. But sometimes I didn't know, how to go about it in that sense. So usually I know that it can be a challenge for people who are starting out. Okay, so these 3 levels are very important. Now, the second mistakes I see a lot of editors make, of course, because they don't know these levels, is that they charge a price for any level of work, right? So I remember, if you've read my book, Professional Rates, I mentioned this story that the first time somebody was to pay me after over 10 years of editing and proofreading for free, when she asked me for cost, like how much am I charging, I froze. I got into anxiety and panic. I was just anxious. I was just unsettled. I didn't know what to say. Finally, when I priced at 21,000 naira, which is about $15 right now, thinking about it now, I don't know how I arrived at that price, and I did I consider what level of work it was and all that? I didn't. So I just gave a flat fee. This is another mistake a lot of editors are likely to make or are already making, right? So before you price, first of all, you have to factor in the work that you need to do, right? I'll do another video where I'm going to tell you exactly. I think I should do a video that will tell you step by step what to do from when somebody says, oh, I need you to edit my work till where you're getting paid, and delivering the work, what you should do. Yeah, if you want that video, comment in the comment section and I will do that. Step-by-step guide. So let me know, I will do that video. So that pricing part is the second mistake I see a lot of people make, starting a flat rate, for just correcting errors. So you think it's just about correcting errors in that sense. Now, the third thing I see a lot of editors make as mistake is that they think that they're just correcting errors, that they are just helping the writer to correct errors in their work. Why that is partly true, you are doing much more. Yes, you are doing so much with the reputation of the writer. I remember when I started out, I used to feel personally responsible for books in bookshops already published, already put for sale, that I find errors in. I remember my former boss back in 2014 when he wrote a book that was published by an Italian company for that matter. And I still can remember because I can still remember the page 73 of that book had a major typo error. It's not type, I think it's an omission error now, yeah. I remember the day I saw it. You know how you're part of a team, you guys are promoting your boss's book, pushing it. Then one day I said, let me just read this book, and then it hit me. Wait. I know how sometimes in Africa we think that things that are done in the West are more thoroughly done. I was so distressed for him. I felt, oh my God, after spending all these millions of naira, I felt betrayed. I felt like I was personally responsible for it, but maybe I should have insisted that he should allow us to do the work back home. I just used to feel all sort of way. Now, that same thing makes a lot of editors just think they're just correcting errors. You're dealing with the reputation. You're solving a reputation problem, number one. You're dealing sometimes with legal issues. You're helping them resolve or prevent legal issues. There are certain issues that a writer might actually conceive and write about that you as an editor can spot and discover that this might be a problem in the future. And so you advise that they remove it. I remember one of my clients who was writing a business book, but she, of course, gave a little background of herself, growing up, how she caught the entrepreneurship spirit in that sense. So she made reference to her parents, and then she referenced one of her parents in a light that's not like it's bad, but it's something that people may use to look down on that parent in that sense. And I said, no, it's not necessary. By the way, this is not an autobiography, so there's no need for these details. And she got it, right? Things like that can be so, see, you can't quantify them in money, right? So you're not just correcting mistakes. You're also helping this author to win the trust of people, the readers. Because when the book is nicely done, flawlessly edited, everything on point, there's a likelihood that more of the people who read that book are going to look out for that author's other books, because they just trust that this guy's or this lady's work always comes out quality. It's just like movie making, right? In Nigeria, somebody like Bimbo Ademoye, right? She makes movies that are cutting edge, especially because there are a lot of people making YouTube videos. But when she makes her videos, we're all like, oh my God, right? Now, because we know her for quality, we always wait for her videos to come. For instance, I just watched a new movie, Sibe. Like, Sibe is already 6.something million as at when I checked in the morning. And this is day 3, and that is front end of YouTube, if you understand what I mean. Back end must have been 7.something million, right? And it goes the same for an author, right? When your book comes out, quality print, quality written, quality storyline, quality, people are going to look for more of the author's books. And that is you behind the scene making it happen for this author. And there's so much more, right? So I don't want you to make these mistakes. I want you to also understand the weight of your importance in your country, in your continent, in the world. As much as you think that what you do is just in your corner, in your home, in your office, and you're a nobody, you're so little in the midst of the billions of people in the world, what you're doing is so important. And I need you to read Professional Rates to get the whole tea about how to ensure that you understand what we as editors are actually selling. There's a whole chapter on it in that book, and I don't want you to miss it. I'm going to come back again if you let me know the step by step, and I'm going to give you more on this series. Make sure that you are tuned in and you're subscribed. Subscribe, check now that you're subscribed, and like this video. Please like this video so that YouTube can send it out to more editors or more upcoming editors so they don't make the same mistakes. Okay, catch ya.